Food the old-fashioned way.
מדי פעם אני חוטא.
במה אתה חוטא?
כשאני אוכל, אני בא לי לאכול כבש בתנור.
From Jerusalem, this is Lamia Lahoud for Infolives Television, speaking to Mr. Saeb Erekat, the Palestinian chief negotiator in Jericho. Hi, Mr. Erekat.
Hi, Lamia. How are you?
I'm okay. There is right now a big mess in the Palestinian areas between Fatah and Hamas. The Palestinian salaries haven't been paid for 2 months. The international community, besides Russia, is not really dispersing money. And Israel said that they would not negotiate with the Palestinian government as long as the Hamas government will not fight terror. What is Abu Mazen going to do? And is he going to replace that government? Can he do that by law? And what are his options?
Well, Lamia, Abu Mazen has an overloaded wagon of complexities. On the one hand, Abu Mazen, in the last elections, Hamas won the elections, but in the basic law, the government is supposed to be the president's government. And Abu Mazen designated Mr. Haniyeh to form a government on the basis of the two-state solution, on recognition of Israel, international legality, Arab legality, and the obligations of the Palestinian Authority, and to renounce violence and to opt for a meaningful negotiations. One should keep in mind that this government is only 40 days old. And Abu Mazen wants to give it the chance, hoping that it will change. And at the same time, when we're urging the government to change and we're exerting maximum effort in order for them to change and accept Abu Mazen's program, we call upon the international community, especially the Americans, the Europeans, the Japanese, and others, to continue helping the Palestinian people in their budgetary supports and infrastructures, because cutting this aid immediately and without giving the government the chance would really mean a human catastrophe on the one hand, and it will backfire. The second issue here is the Israeli government. We have a new Israeli government. Abu Mazen last Friday called Prime Minister Olmert, congratulated him, and offered him a partnership for peace and security. And they spoke about a meeting, and Mr. Olmert said that when he comes back, this will be determined. But we've seen, his advisors rush to deny that there is a meeting that will take place, and so on and so on and so on. I don't know why. If they want to go, if the Israeli government wants to go with the path of unilateralism and dictation and walls, it means that we will not have peace. What is needed now is for Mr. Olmert to accept Abu Mazen's offer. And there are some who may ask, how can Mr. Olmert negotiate with Abu Mazen when you have a Hamas government that doesn't recognize Israel? Okay, number one, Abu Mazen is trying to get the government to accept his program, but on the other hand, the jurisdiction for the political negotiations with Israel is the jurisdiction of the PLO. And Prime Minister Haniyeh said 2 days ago that he will not object, he will not put any obstacles in the face of these negotiations, and he accepted that the negotiations is the jurisdiction of the President. And President Abbas, Abu Mazen, said that once an agreement is reached with Israel, we put it down to a national referendum.
Apropos the PLO, Hamas also said in the negotiations that you had in Cairo with the Hamas representatives for the Hudna, for whatever the temporary truce between Israel and Hamas, that they would like to join the PLO and that they wanted elections. Now, there are a lot of people on the Palestinian side who are saying that that would mean Hamas will win the elections and they will get, like a majority over Fatah.
Lamia, Hamas got 40% of the votes. We got 52% of the votes. We lost because we had 600 candidates running for these seats. Okay, we welcome Hamas joining the PLO, but Hamas must accept first the PLO as a representative of the Palestinian people. And Hamas must accept the obligations of the PLO, especially in the agreement signed with Israel and the mutual recognition and so on. The PLO represents all Palestinians, the 10 million of us throughout the world. So this will take a lot of time. And of course, we are working very, very hard in order to revive and to reactivate the PLO institutions, including elections, when the preparations are concluded.
But one of the main issues here is terror. I mean, right after the elections, there was a terror attack claimed by Islamic Jihad, and Hamas said that they are not going to take any actions against terror. Now, Israel said they will not negotiate unless the government will take actions, and Abu Mazen said he would, fulfill his obligations. How can he do that?
Lamia, we can, if you want to find pretexts and reasons for why not to negotiate, we can find hundreds of reasons. I mean, the Israeli government did not negotiate when Abu Ammar was in office, and they said no partner. And then when Abu Mazen was in office, was elected 16 months ago with 62% majority, they said he's irrelevant, weak, and so on. So look, if people want to seek pretexts in order not to resume negotiations, they can find many reasons. But to cut the long story short, I don't think you're doing me a favor or I'm doing you a favor in Israel if we accept to come back to a meaningful peace process, a meaningful negotiations, because I think final borders or end of claims or end of conflict will not be achieved through unilateral steps and dictations. It needs negotiations. It needs a full partnership. We offer our hands to the Israeli government, and for God's sakes, what do they have to lose? What do they have to lose? If we prove, to our word that we can deliver on issues like all permanent status issues, including Jerusalem settlement, borders and refugees, and reach a permanent status historic agreement, then we can go to a national referendum, and Israel is a winner. And if we prove that we cannot deliver, then they can go with their unilateral steps later on.
But now in the short term, I mean, you do have a problem. You don't have money. No salaries have been paid. Hamas is in power. What is Abu Mazen going to do? Can he ask Ismail Haniyeh to leave and replace him with somebody else?
He needs to give him the chance, and that's why we urge the international community and the donor countries to give us the aid needed and to give this government the chance. And, Abu Mazen is exerting maximum effort on them to change. Now, let's see. Let's give them the chance, and let's see whether they're going to come forward or not.
Now, what kind of pressure are you talking about to change? Is he asking them to take measures to...
He's asking them to accept his program on the two-state solution, recognition of Israel, renouncing violence, and accept the Palestinian Authority's obligation.
And what is he going to do if they don't?
There are many, many options that